Come. Sit down. Let's talk. Now, today, we are going to be discussing a very important subject for women, especially. And by the way, you know me, I am very, very, very passionate about talking to women who are in employment. So, we're going to have a series where we are going to be talking about relationship mistakes that we make with money. You know, the money mistakes that we make around relationships, the mistakes we make around relationships that have to do with money. So we are going to be talking about you and money and your spouse, money and your business partner, money and your friends, money and your chama, lots of things. So follow me for the next couple of weeks until we see how far we go with this series. So today we are going to be discussing money and your business partner, and look at some of the mistakes that you could be making when it comes to money and your business partner. So today is going to be money and your business partner. Next week we will be talking about money and your spouse, and I'll keep telling you how we are going to be talking about these things. Now, if you're here for the first time, I encourage you to sit down, find a place, sit, and let's talk. You know that I talk about women and money. I am sent for women who are in employment, especially serving in leadership and management positions, senior leadership, mid-level management positions, because I was there. I made mistakes with money. And so I am like that woman, like that voice in the desert that just says, please don't go this path, don't go this path, avoid this path. So that's why I am here, and because I am a financial coach. But more than being a financial coach, I'm also I'm also born again. I love Christ as my Lord and Savior, and so many times I also sort of infuse a little bit of biblical conversations, especially on Wednesdays. Now, money, I'm referring to my notes, money and your business partner. Now, what are some of the mistakes that you might be making when it comes to you and your business partner when it comes to money? And I am talking this consciously, knowing that for people who are in employment, there comes a time when you feel like you want to do this side hustle, you want to do some side hustle, you want to do something outside of your employment because you're consciously aware that a day is coming when you will not be in employment. By the way, there's so much that is going on in the world that for people who are in employment, it is important that you are conscious about all the things that are happening, the things that are happening globally, the wars that we are hearing. It started when I was employed. The first thing that happened is, because I was employed in an NGO, the first thing that happened was when there was the war between Russia and Ukraine, my friend. We started, first of all, it began with Syrian refugees. So because refugees were going to, one of the countries that was supporting us, they needed to reduce the funding for that, that was coming to Africa, because so that, some resources can be diverted for them to be able to accommodate the Syrian refugees. So that was one of the global moves. Then it came the Russia-Ukraine war. Then that was another one. And of course, now we are continuing to see very many things. Of course, so that means that, jobs are not very, it's becoming challenging. The more we look at the global events around us, the more it becomes more challenging for people who are in employment to be able to actually just sit pretty and have that comfort. By the way, you cannot afford to sit pretty. Now, even as you continue to prepare yourself, even as I continue to encourage you to, take care of your money, be a good steward of your resources, I want you to remember that it is possible for you to actually make mistakes in your desire to want to do something else. And in that desire to want to do something else, many times we go blindly and do things that may not necessarily be aligned to our purpose, be aligned to the things that we are wired to do. And by the way, these are some of the conversations that I have even in my coaching programs. So, thing is, you have decided that you want to do business. You want to do that side business, because as you prepare yourself for the day when you're going to leave that employment, and because you don't have the time, one of the things that people in employment, have limitations around is when it comes to the freedom of time. So because you do not have the freedom of time, you are looking for somebody who might have the freedom of time, so that then you can combine forces and be able to do business. Now, the mistakes, I'm going to actually talk about like 4 things that you need to be wary and you need to be that people make mistakes when it comes to money and your business partner. So money and your business partner. Number one, not doing due diligence. So that because you're in such a hurry, you're almost in a panic mode. And by the way, even me, I got into that panic mode when I was 42, and I ended up making mistakes. So I am talking about things that I have done and things that I know. Now listen, not doing due diligence. You're walking around, you're listening for business ideas, you're listening, and somehow before you don't even do your due diligence and you fall into the trap. And because you haven't done due diligence, it's very easy for you to make mistakes. Because remember, because you are employed, you are in employment, so you're getting that kasalo every month. So somehow you are comfortable. You know it's your income is predictable. And because your income is predictable, you then are lured into supporting, into working with a business partner. And I'm not saying that all business partners are wrong, but I'm just saying some of the mistakes that you're likely to make when it comes to you and your business partner and money. So not doing due diligence. So it's very easy to get into a conversation or a business relationship that really you have not done due diligence and you do not know what this partner is like. By the way, yours truly has been in that situation. And I have recorded videos on this, so I don't need to repeat that. So please do your due diligence before you can go into you and your business partner. The other thing is about trusting blindly. Especially for us women, somehow we kind of think that everybody is like us. Of course, I'm not saying that there are no women out there who are funny and who are cons, but many times we trust blindly. And it could even be a fellow woman who you're trusting blindly. It could be a gentleman who you get into a conversation or into a relationship with business, but you trust blindly. And because you trust so blindly, you think that everybody is like you. By the way, because for me, I am an honest woman. By the way, I am, what is white and what is black is black. And because I am like that, until I got into a mess with my business relationships, I thought that everybody is like me. So don't trust blindly, because when you trust blindly, trust me, you will lose money. Now, the other thing is that you are overwhelmed at work. So you don't check what your business is doing, and for you who is in senior management, for you who is in mid-level management, your work, you work extra hours. You are always thinking about your employer, the work that you have, the task that you have to accomplish, all the things that you have to do. And because of that, you hardly have time to even check what your business partner is doing. By the way, I had an experience. I one time got involved with a business partner, and the so-called business, because I call it the so-called business, was in Thika, because I am here in Nairobi. So the so-called business was in Thika, and so this is my business partner, and she was a woman. She was a crafty woman. And so I didn't have the time. So the only time I would go to just sort of see and check was over the weekend. And every time I would go over the weekend, we would go. She used to make me, hey gosh, we would go then before we could even, and we would have many other things. She would take me around. She would entertain me in her house. I would say, yes, let me say entertain me in her house, or just to try and make sure that there is no time to actually check the books or ask questions, so that happens because you do not have the time. You are so carried away. And if you're with a crafty business partner, they will, take you round and round in circles, and you will never get to know the inside story of what is happening within the business. So because you're overwhelmed, you are likely to just make the mistakes of not being able to understand exactly what is happening. And because remember, you have trusted blindly, remember, you have not done your due diligence, and you do not have time. Now, those three factors are likely to actually cause you to lose your money, and it becomes like a hemorrhage. Your money, you're always going. In fact, I remember in my situation, in my case, and this was many years back, I had gotten into a business relationship. I don't know, what were we doing? We were doing, I don't know, welding and all that. And then so I was the one who was providing capital, because then my business partner had time, and that's how they come in, that then they have time and you have the money. And so at the end of the day, you end up hemorrhaging your money and supporting a business, which, by the way, ends up benefiting the other party, and you never ever get the benefit. By the way, I'll tell you, even in that business relationship, which was long time ago, and it was my first attempt Was it my first attempt? Yeah, I guess it was my first attempt at business with a business partner. And I had a bad experience. I mean, I'm not saying that everybody will have a bad experience, but I'm only saying that please, for you, because you do not have the freedom of time to be able to keep, checking and getting into the detail of everything that is happening in the business, for you who is who trusts blindly, for you who has not done due diligence, I will tell you and I can assure you, and you can take this to the bank, you will be swindled. You will be swindled. So what are we saying? We are saying do your due diligence. Don't just wake up and and meet somebody like I did and just fall into I'm not saying falling in love, but just falling in love with the business idea that has been presented to you, and you fail to do the due diligence, or you trust blindly. And the fact that take time, it's your business, you are putting in money, please make sure that you also dedicate time to understand what is happening in the business. Ask questions so that then you can know. Now, that was about the pieces that I wanted us to discuss around you and your business partner, money and your business partner, relationship mistakes that we make when it comes to business. Now, next week, we will be talking about you, money, and your spouse, or money and your partner. And I know that this is a very, dicey topic with women, so we will be talking about that. So until next time, I want to encourage you to subscribe. Please hit that subscribe button, tell me something, write a comment, put a like, and let's continue having this conversation. And I also want to remind you that Wednesdays, we have biblical success principles that we talk about, and we have been going through the book of Genesis. Please don't just say those things of Bible. By the way, one of these days I'm going to be recording a video to be talking about all the things that are happening. And in fact, the Lord was leading me about something to do with the chaotic world that we are in. What is the path to return? We will be talking about that in sometime once we are done with the series of relationship mistakes that we make with money. Until next time, see you next Friday, and God bless you. Thank you.